Alright guys, welcome back to another video. I'm super excited to walk you guys on this. This is applying for Chase Bank. This is absolutely my number one favorite best bank to develop a relationship with because they have awesome benefits on the personal side, and traditionally they give very high credit limits on the 0% interest business credit card side. So this is definitely a big one you're going to want to pay attention to, and a bank we're going to want to prioritize the most because they have this thing called the 5 and 24 rule. The rule states that if you've opened 5 or more new credit card accounts across any bank within the last 24 months, then you're not going to be eligible to be approved for certain Chase credit cards. This means that if you have opened 5 or more credit card accounts within the last 2 years, Chase is going to deny you on your application, even if you meet all their other eligibility requirements. So again, they have really high credit limits on the business credit side, and if we've exceeded this 5 and 24 rule, then we're not going to be eligible. But if you haven't already met that 5 and 24 rule, let's say you're at 4 and 24, if you don't apply for, or if you do apply for a business credit card from Chase, it's not going to count towards the 5 and 24. So let's say you had 4 credit cards you applied for in the last 24 months, and you applied for 1 business credit card with Chase, that doesn't count towards the 5. It's still 4 and 24. And they are only considering personal credit cards. So if you've applied for 4 personal credit cards and then you also have like a loan, a mortgage, anything like that, that doesn't count towards this 5 and 24. So it'll still say 4 and 24. So just be knowledgeable of that because Chase Bank, we're going to want to be getting funding with them as soon as possible. And if you are past that 5 and 24 rule, you're going to have to wait at least a year for that break in between before they'll approve you for any more sort of credit cards, whether it's the personal or business side. So Chase Bank is very heavy on relationships. So anytime you have a Chase checking account open, ideally where money's being deposited in and out of it, before applying for the credit card, your approval odds are going to increase. This goes for both personal and business credit. Now, I'm about to walk you guys through the recommended cards to apply through with Chase, and I'm going to go through their benefits, why you'd want them, and some of the requirements they're going to be looking for before you apply so you don't get denied. All right, guys, let's go through the top Chase credit cards that we're going to apply to. So number 1 on the list is the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. We got it up here. I'm going to include the link to apply. You get some bonus perks when you use my referral, so please use that. But the awesome couple of things just to highlight, right, is you get a $150 bonus for the sign-on just by spending $500 within the first 3 months. That's super easy to do, and you'll be good to go. So the other cool benefits with this is you're going to get 5% cash back on travel. Again, the thing to remember is this is when it's purchased through the Chase Ultimate Rewards. So anytime you're going to get a flight or a hotel, anything like that, make sure to go through the Chase Ultimate Rewards and use that card there to get that 5% cash back. Earn 3% on dining, including takeout and eligible delivery services. So that could be like Uber Eats or something. 3% on drugstore purchases, and then 1.5% on all other purchases. So tons of cash back, tons of point value you're going to get from here. Then the other cool thing too is this is actually a 0% interest for 15 months. This includes for any purchases or balance transfers, meaning if you need to pay off, let's say you have a personal credit card that you can't pay off and it's got a higher interest rate on it, what you could do is pay this card with a higher interest rate with the Chase Freedom. Now you just brought this higher interest rate down to 0%. So now you have more breathing room and time to pay back that card without having to dig yourself in a hole of high interest debt. So really cool stuff there. The other big part is there's no annual fee, right? You lose nothing from having this card. So this is really cool. So that's just kind of a highlight of the benefits from this card. I really recommend on using this. Again, this is on the list of high credit limit cards too, so don't be surprised when you get something, a pretty high credit limit on it. So awesome. In regards to getting approved for the Chase Freedom, really all Chase is wanting you to have is a minimum score of at least 690. If you have a minimum score of at least 690, you're going to be in a really good high percentage probability of actually getting approved for this card. So make sure your credit's in good check so you're not applying, getting a hard inquiry, and getting a denial. So as long as you got that, you'll be good to go to get approved. So next card on the lineup is Chase Sapphire option. So they've got the Chase Sapphire Preferred card and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I'm going to go through both of them just because people might have different requirements or the annual fee might be a little much for them. But Chase Sapphire Preferred is the lower tier Chase Sapphire card, but this is an awesome card as well. Just looking at this, you get a 60,000 bonus points after you've spent 4,000 within the first 3 months. Should be pretty easy, but let's say you're not able to make that $4,000 purchase within the 3 months. What you could always do is call the number on the back of the card, give them a story of like, hey, I got this card because I wanted to get the sign-on bonus. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. Is there any way I could get an extension on it? And a lot of times they'll give you 3 months, 6 months, even sometimes a year. But the other people on the line are very helpful. They're all about customer service and they want your business. So just give them a good story and, be polite and they'll treat you the same. But this $60,000 bonus, that's worth $750 worth of travel when you redeem it through the Chase Ultimate Rewards. So that's a huge $750. That's a free hotel, free flight. There's a lot of benefits for that. In terms of the other benefits, you get 5x points on travel when you purchase it through the Chase Ultimate Rewards, and then 2x on all other travel purchases, 3x on dining, 3x on groceries, 3x on streaming services, plus 1 point per dollar spent on all other purchases. So Chase Sapphire Preferred, really good choice. Also gives high credit limits. For this card, I would highly recommend, but it is, I believe it's like a $95, $95 annual fee. So be mindful of that. Don't worry about the annual fees because the amount of points that you're going to be getting from this card, I think, are completely outweigh the cost you're paying to be a member of the card. So go ahead and apply if that's something for you. The next card we're going to be talking about is Chase Sapphire Reserve. That's the top tier card. For the Chase Sapphire Preferred, make sure you're at least at a 700 credit score before applying. As long as you got that, you're going to be a shoo-in for actually getting approved. All right, so this is the mother of all Chase cards, the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So there's the top tier travel card. It's got some awesome benefits, but quickly just kind of going through those rewards and benefits. You're going to get 60,000 bonus points when you spend 4,000 within the first 3 months. That's $900 towards travel when you redeem it through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. And then on top of that, they have so many partnerships, for example, like Lyft Pink services, which I forget how much it costs. I think it's a monthly fee. But they have so many partnerships with other businesses that you could opt in for this additional value with their partners to get, free Lyft Pink, where you get priority over normal Lyft people who are trying to get picked up. What's the other one? Instacart. They give you the gold membership for, I think, for like a year. So tons of value. It's worth $1,200 when you use all of them. The other big thing is a $300 annual travel credit. So anytime, every year this renews, so you get $300 on any purchases you made in travel. So let's say you bought a $300 flight, they're gonna credit that back to your account, and now that flight is free. So that can do anything with travel. It could be flights, car rentals, hotels, anything like that. So if you like to travel like me, this is gonna be really helpful. Now, For the day-to-day purchases, this is awesome because you get 5x points on flights when you purchase it through Chase Ultimate Rewards, and after the first $300 spent on travel purchase annually. So this is 5x after you've already spent the $300 because you get that $300 credit. And then you're going to earn 10x points on hotels and car rentals when purchased through Chase. Earn 3x points on dining, and then 10x points on Chase dining. So Chase dining is anytime you purchase a Chase dining experience through their portal. So that's a huge multiplier of 10x. And then you get 50% more value when you redeem travel through Chase. So when you redeem your travel through Chase, there's that 50% more value on that. So that's really cool. And the other thing too is I like to fly a lot, so you get complimentary airport lounges. So this is really cool if you've ever been in an airport lounge. They got free drinks, free food, all this cool stuff. So you're not just having to wait out in the seats with everybody else that looks super grumpy. So other big thing is the global entry and TSA pre-check. So you get to choose, but basically when you're going through gonna get a flight, you know how everybody has to take off their shoes, stay in that line. I have the TSA pre-check and global entry, and this has saved my butt multiple times for showing up last minute to flights. So this is really cool. Now, the other thing that's not listed on here, I guess this would be part of the additional partnership value, is anytime you rent a car, it comes with insurance. So you don't have to purchase, let's say you're going through Hertz car rentals, as long as you pay for the car rental with your Chase Sapphire Reserve card, you don't have to pay any of that insurance. And the insurance honestly doubles the price anytime you get a car rental. Like if the car rental says it's $100 a day, expect another $100 in fee per day with the insurance. And that gets completely waived for any accident. It's an accident waiver insurance for the car rental. So this is really cool. Now, the big caveat is this has a lot of benefits, so it does come with a cost, and it's $550 annual fee. You might be thinking, ouch, but in reality, look, this thing is going to pay itself off. Already $300 is given back to you in annual travel credit, not to mention all the other partnerships and all the other things they pay for. So really highly, highly recommend this card. In order to get approved for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, make sure you have at least a 720 and up, and you should be good to go. But that's the list of the Chase credit cards I recommend getting. They also have flight cards as well. So they've got stuff like, you know, a partnership with United and Southwest. I actually have the Southwest card because I love Southwest to death. You could go for any of those as well. They might not give you as higher credit limits than these cards, but if you like to fly a lot, those are also options you might want to look into as well. But that's it, guys. Chase Sapphire, Reserve, Preferred, Chase Freedom, all amazing cards. We want to develop a relationship with them early on because they're going to give high credit limits and on the personal side and high credit limits on the business side. And one of the really cool things with Chase is they do this thing. They're one of the few banks that lets you do this, but they do what's called a Chase credit limit transfer. And basically, you're able to move credit limits from one card to the other. So let's say you have 10K credit limit on the Freedom card and 10K credit limit on the Reserve. Let's say you expect to put a lot of spend on the Reserve card. You could put 9,000 credit limit from the Freedom over to the Reserve. Now it's 1K credit limit on the Freedom and 19K on the Reserve. And the other cool hack with this that's going to help you with getting more business credit funding is Chase looks at comparable credits with their own cards. Meaning, if you have one credit card with them that has a super high credit limit, that increases the odds of getting even higher credit limits on the business side. So that's why we want to prioritize having, two cards with Chase, because we'll be able to keep stacking more credit limits on top of that. But that's it for Chase, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Actually, one more thing that I wanted to mention regarding the Chase is actually applying. So let me pull up those notes. So when it comes to applying for Chase cards, you only want to apply for no more than 2 cards at once. If you want a third card with them, you want to wait 30 to 90 days to let them see activity on the first couple cards you get approved for, so you can build up that trust, and now they're going to give you a third card. So the more you spend and pay back, the better odds you're going to get on the next approval. So the other thing is, if you're applying for a Chase personal card and Chase business card, you're going to want to apply for the personal card first in the sequence. Before you apply for any Chase business credit cards, please make sure you watch the chapter 4 of the business credit sections, because I'm just quickly going over some of the requirements leading up to that. So don't get too hasty. Make sure to finish that whole section as well. And yeah, after that, you guys should be good to go. And I'll see you guys in the next videos. We're going to be talking about prioritizing relationships with Amex. So peace out. Much love. See you guys soon.